I'm Claire, and I started at IHS when I was in year 1 and finished my A-levels here in 2008. After I finished my A-levels, I did a year as a teaching assistant in the junior school here, and then I went to the University of East Anglia and did an undergraduate degree in education. Once I'd done that, I moved on to Cambridge University and did my teacher training there, and that was followed with a master's in education in critical approaches to children's literature. I didn't actually know I wanted to be a teacher until one of the members of staff down there, I'd been doing some work with the year 3 class, and she took me out and said, have you ever thought about being a teacher? You'd be great. And that was where it all started. So I was going to do a degree in geography, and I'd written my personal statement and everything. And it was that teacher that said to me, have you thought about this? And that was it. That was everything. If the senior leadership team here hadn't seen something in me that I hadn't seen in myself, and they hadn't known me as an individual, I don't think I'd be on this journey. So I go through my career hoping I can have that impact on a child that I teach somewhere. All the staff knew you inside out, so I felt like I could achieve more than I ever thought I could because that belief was just unwavering. So anything you put your mind to, the support was there, but the support was more. I remember a conversation I had with the head of the junior school who said, one day you'll end up at Cambridge because you need to be inspired by the great thinkers there. And at the time I'm thinking, that won't ever happen. And it did. Down the line now, I can trace so much of where I am back to conversations that I had when I was here. I would shout from the rooftops about my time at Ipswich High School. I was awarded Essex Teacher of the Year in 2021, and in the interview I had to do for that, I talked about Ipswich High School then, and that was over a decade later. So when I was interviewed about how I'd got to that point, I went back to my time here and talked about that as well. I can remember individual teachers and the way they made me feel as a learner, but also as a person. And I think moving forwards, that I have got the capacity as a teacher to make little people feel the way that I was made to feel here about myself, and reflecting on what it was about how those teachers were and the skills they used as teachers and how they nurtured is something that I carry right through with me over a decade later into my teaching. I was never somebody moving through school who had the most confidence in themselves, but when I didn't believe in myself enough to do something or put myself forward for something or challenge myself, there were people there to do that for me, which means that now I can do that more for myself because I've had the support all the way through to do that and to push myself beyond what I think I can do. Whatever it was the sense of camaraderie and the fact that we were all in this together. And teachers were so supportive of that in any capacity we were in, wherever we were, whatever we were doing, whether it was in school, it was on trips. We went on a choir tour to Italy, and when we did that, it was the same sense of we're one big group, and there are year 7s here and there were 6th formers here, and we're all part of the same family and working together to grow into the best versions of ourselves that we can be. You have to be absolutely focused on your studies and on being the best you can be academically, but actually the sense that you can be better as that version of yourself if you're doing these other things with it as well. So I was production manager for the productions with drama. I led the choir tour to Italy. I helped with the junior school choir. I wasn't ever as sporty as other people were, but there were just so many different things to get involved with that helped you to grow in different ways. And I think that holistic approach to education that is so important here is why you leave as such a well-rounded individual that can go on and do whatever you want to do. But it's so much more than just having the right A-levels for what you want to do. We had all those extra things where people knew us and gave us opportunities, and if we hadn't seen things ourselves, they'd say, come and do this. Like, this is going to be great for you. It's that whole journey where I was leaving as someone that wanted to go into teaching, but I had so much that I could take with me into that profession. Every teacher for every subject knows you as that individual. And, we all like some subjects more than others, don't we? But even when it was subjects that I was finding more challenging, the teachers knew what I was capable of. And I think the expectations are unfailingly high of you as a learner, but then you're supported in rising to meet that challenge. I think the high expectation is crucial, and the expectation that you will give the best of yourself on that journey, but you will be supported in giving the best of yourself. The opportunity to be involved in so many different ways, even if you're not the best at doing something, there is still those opportunities there. It's not a bolt on, it's part of the whole ethos, isn't it? That is the offer here. That defines what the vision of education is here. You can try things maybe you wouldn't have tried if you hadn't had the nudge in that direction, and maybe discover a passion or a talent that you didn't know that you had, because there is so many opportunities to get involved in so many different ways. I think that's the other thing you leave here with. It's this sense that learning's forever. You don't stop learning, and the more open you are to learning and to those opportunities, the further you can go along whichever path you take. I'm doing quite a lot of work with early career teachers as well. So across our multi-academy trust, I'm responsible for early career teacher induction. So for example, we've had trainees from the University of Cambridge, and I coordinate that partnership. The thought of being able to play a really big part in growing our next generation of teachers is something that I find really exciting.